We're just going to get some water, and I really want to thank Marcia for giving me the honor of pouring the libation, and in some sense recognizing that we are on sacred ground.
Yes.
And we are on sacred ground not just because people came together to be self-determined. People came together to say that we can control our own destiny, that we can control our own children, that we can control our own future, and that we are going to be building for eternity. And so that makes it sacred ground because we are following in the path of our ancestors. Our ancestors, who, as Representative Don Mason reminded us, had been put through a horrendous seasoning process, a horrendous miseducation process, a process that we still are feeling the vestiges of today at this moment. And so at a time when the laws said that black people of African descent could not assemble, that more than two at any place was illegal and not permissible, to be gathered here today in this space in direct defiance of that work. That work that was attempted to be done to our ancestors is an act of nobility, is an act of sacred activity. So in the sense of recognizing the sacredness of the space we pour libation. And everyone knows that libation is a way of acknowledging that for African people, what is above is below. That there is no separation from our past and our present and our future. That it is all one united cycle that moves around the world, that moves around our lives, that moves around our souls. And so we recognize this when we pour libation. We recognize that everyone in the house needs to have a voice. And so what do you want to say?
Father's coming inside to do spiritual life. He's getting his stuff. He has the
So what do you want me to do?
Just hold off on the libation. He just went to the car to get the stuff.
Can she finish hers and then he can be invited after that?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Carry on, Dr.
Right. We are improvisational people. We are the creators of jazz. Right. We are inclusive, but we always operate in both hands as an open either or. So whenever we have a guest that can come to our place to grace us, to enhance us, we want to make sure that we can make some room. And so we were just making an adjustment because when the ancestors call and bring spirit, they bring spirit to us all. They bring spirit from all of our traditions and from all of our humanities. And so we're going to pour libation. Can I have a beat of a drum? Calling upon the ancestors, we say, ancestors, come by here.
Come by here.
Come by here. Let's all say, ancestors, come by here. Come by here. Come by here now. Come by here proud. Come by here loud. Come by here. And to all of ancestors who gave birth to civilization, who understood that what happened on earth also happened in the heavens, and so created astronomy, and so created agronomy. To all those ancestors who understood the time moves endlessly and one needs to count and measure, and so they invented mathematics and geometry. And because they knew that good speech is more powerful than all speech, they invented logic, they invented rhetoric, they invented composition, they invented writing, and they even gave measures who said the building, the lane, the plumb line is in fact the destiny of African people. So all those creators of civilization, we say Ashe. Ashe. To all of those explorers who created civilization in our ancestral land and then traveled throughout the world in the first migration. In the first migration, the ancestors went and built powerful kingdoms in the Indus Valley, built powerful kingdoms in the Yucatan Peninsula, built powerful kingdoms in South, North, West, East Africa. So all those ancestors who not only were the progenitors of human beings, but the birthers of civilization, global civilization, we say Ashe. So all those ancestors who had to endure the horrific movement of the fourth migration, the second migration, the middle passage that was a combination that was global, because people don't understand it's not just Africans that were involved in the African slave trade. It was Europeans involved in the African trade. It was Arabs involved in the African trade. And it was Jews involved in the African trade. All the world conspired to make us less than, and it did not work. So all those ancestors who were never allowed themselves to be made less than, we say Ashe. And so all those ancestors are very, very strong ones, the strongest of all, that were able to survive the middle passage. The most brilliant, the most collaborative, the most inclusive, the strongest ancestors who landed on this shore and then were treated like beasts, were taken through a seizing process where their drums were taken away, their language was taken away, the families were torn asunder, mothers and sons, sons from mother, daughter, all spread throughout the world, all to all those ancestors who were told that they were not human, but who refused to acknowledge that, who stood strong, even despite the lash, even despite the lynching, even despite the horrendous rape. To those ancestors who never lost their humanity, we say Ashe. And so all those ancestors who worked very hard because they knew they were human, to read, to write, to pass on the wisdom, to when they found any one of their brothers incarcerated or chained, would work ferociously to free them. And those ancestors who marched through Jim Crow, who marched through Reconstruction, who marched through the Civil Rights, who even survived integration, all of those ancestors who survived all of those holocausts and still stood strong as black people, we say Ashe. And finally we say to all of those ancestors who built community, who went out and gathered people from far and near and said, come home, let me feed you a little green, let me feed you, give you oil for your hair, let me make you recognize that you are my brother and I am your sister and you are my child and I am your mother. So all of those Africans all over the world who formed Africatown, we say